Okay, let's talk through all these golf events that you have coming up.
Gabby, I'm glad you asked. Got my calendar right here. July 17th at Red Run, and then July 31st, I have the American Golf Outing for the Cancer Society.
I also have the American Cancer Society golf outing on the 31st, and also I got yours on the 18th, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Whoa, boys, these are a lot of events and golf outings.
Well, you want me to miss my own golf tournament?
Gabby, they're all great colors.
I mean, this is...
Hold on. I got this. Guys, I got this. Don't worry about it. Hold on a second.
He always...
Hey guys. Thanks for coming so fast. How are ya? Remember the guys from Randy Wise, right? Sir. The Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
Watch for the eye.
Stay tuned.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports. And some, well, not so much. Brought to you in part by Premier Security Solutions, Fairway Packing Company, and Swiss Insurance. Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com. Good morning, baby! It's, what's today, Wednesday? It is Wednesday.
The short week is throwing me off, by the way.
Well, one more day of May.
I hope everybody's having a great morning. Hope you had your coffee. If you're an overachiever, you probably went to the gym. If you're an underachiever, well, here we are. Gabby, definitely one of the overachievers. Way to go, Gabby.
Yeah, thanks. Planet Fitness.
How was yesterday?
It was great. It was awesome. Really cool experience to get out there with Frank Ragnow and Almost Brown and hear about their charities and what they're doing and see them head out to fish. So that was exciting. And then tomorrow headed down to Allen Park. So lots of lions this week.
Hell yeah. Jeff, what'd you do yesterday, buddy?
Nothing at
That's
all,
great.
to be honest
Well,
with
look
you.
at you, Mr. fucking Producto over here.
Well, you mentioned the gym. I can't go before because for whatever reason I just don't get up early enough. But I went to the gym yesterday, hung out, had a burger. Didn't really do much.
Oh, yeah, what a productive day,
Yeah,
Jeff.
I mean, other than that, really didn't do
Got
much.
my ass
Ultimate
handed to me in
Fighter's back
softball
on.
yesterday.
Ultimate Fighter's back on. For anybody who's interested in that, watch that yesterday. But
How was
besides
it?
that,
How was the first episode? Good?
yeah, it's good. Yeah, I've always been a big fan. I mean, UFC's they kind of been stinking with Ultimate Fighter the last couple of years. Hasn't been the most interesting.
I think the UFC's been sucking since McGregor walked away. But,
Well,
yeah.
hopefully now he's back, so thank goodness. But didn't really do much, to be honest with you.
I got my ass handed to me in softball yesterday.
Oh, you played softball?
Yeah.
How'd you play?
I mean, I played fine. I held my own weight, but we got our asses kicked. It was not fun. Not fun. Lost the second game close.
What was the score? What was the score?
First game, I think, was like 13-5, and the
Wow.
second game was like 15-14, 15-13, something like that.
Oh.
So,
You fought like hell the second one.
yeah, it's still it's still a loss, dude. Nobody gives a shit how close. It's still a loss.
Still an L, yeah.
You know, I just can I complain to start the show? Is that allowed?
I mean, you do it every day.
Yeah,
so
complain.
why,
Great.
why not today as well?
Great. I am sick and tired of social media. Okay? What the fuck? Like, what is Twitter? I don't get it. What happened? I can't scroll 3 posts without seeing somebody getting killed or knocked the fuck out.
Okay,
is it just me?
It is just you.
No, it's not. It can't be. Thank you, JB. Shake. Yes. Dude, I don't even want to watch this shit. I even click the button. I go out of my way to press not interested in this tweet of some 15-year-old beating the fuck out of some 37-year-old. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Well, your algorithm.
Fuck my algorithm.
I don't know what it can.
It's broken.
Yeah, clearly. This is like the third time you talked about your feed, too.
It's frustrating. That's why. And then yesterday I go to ESPN.com and you know what the 3 fucking main headlines are? Clayton Kershaw upset with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers inviting, quote, the sisters. The sisters, by the way, are a fucking group of nuns that are dudes.
Wait, what?
Don't ask. And apparently it's a whole thing. I don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. I really don't. My head fucking hurts. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And then somebody was apologizing to the LB. I can't even fucking say it, to be honest with you guys.
LGBTQ.
IA, whatever the fuck. You're missing a few things in there. And a plus, I think.
With the plus at the end.
I can't keep up anymore.
Man.
I can't even go to a sports website and get a break from fucking life. JB, help me out.
Yeah, JB.
You know I'm right.
JB, you agreed. Like, what's going on? What's on your feed?
Well, I'll give you an example because this morning when I was scrolling, waiting in traffic right now, I seen a group of kids in some gas station or some store or whatever getting into it with the store clerk. Next thing you know, he comes around the counter with a gun and is basically shooting them out of the store.
Dude, I got something
I
on
don't
my feed
understand
last
this.
night.
What is going on?
Dude, 11 o'clock at night, I'm trying to sleep.
Clearly
11
not trying
o'clock
that
at
hard
night.
if you're on your phone.
No, like I'm kind of just relaxing. You know, I'm enjoying myself. And I see some dude rob I think a knife store. Dude gets stabbed to death. Why am I watching this?
Wait, what?
Why did he rob a knife store and think that that was going to go
I'm
well?
not saying he was right, but why the fuck is it on my feed? I literally don't give a shit. Like
Yeah, that's social media.
I have no control of my feed anymore. Elon, what's going on? Sam, do you have this problem?
You know what you can do quickly before Sam goes? You know you can hold the post on Twitter and hit not interested in this.
That's what I do.
And they don't. Okay.
I
so
even
you're-
go out of my way, Jeff. I just told you that. I
right.
go out of my
Sam-
way.
Sam, what does he do?
Whenever I see some fucking dude with paint on his face, I fucking hit not interested. Don't show me again. I don't want to see. Please,
you
God.
still
Whenever I
see.
see a dude holding his stomach like he's pregnant, I don't want to fucking see it.
Well, you should probably stop talking about it because I told you your phone is just listening to you and filling your feed with this because it's all you talk about.
It's not all I talk about. I'm just frustrated by it.
I know.
I don't want to see it. If you want to put your dick inside of some other dude, be my guest. I don't
how
care.
does that-
No, I don't care. If you want to play pretend and think you're a woman, be my
in the
guest.
morning, my
Good for you. I don't care. I don't want to see it. I have no control over my feed anymore. And then you go to Instagram, it's all ass, titties, and food. What the fuck? Flannel.
I just want to say that your Instagram feed is very much curated to you, so
If that's what's on there. Mine is all motivational sports stuff. I don't have any of that stuff.
Well, to be fair,
Why
I'm only
always
logged in on the
lying?
Woodward. I'm not even logged in on my own. So whoever works here is a bunch of whores. But
What?
yeah.
Why you always lying?
Who's that? Okay, you know what? That's another topic.
That's what mine is.
And I think that goes back to Fridays when Stick was doing that.
What?
You know, whole showing off one woman a week on Friday. So I don't know if that has to do with anything, or someone's just
all I
checking
know
out.
is our social media team. You guys are horny as fuck. That's all I know. Lucas.
I can imagine that all of our explore pages are completely different.
That is.
I'll
that
log
is
into
hilarious.
my Instagram just to show you guys
Mine
mine.
is
but
like bridesmaids dresses, influencers in Paris, workouts, cocktail recipes. Like,
yeah, well, you know, you're not normal, Gabby, right? Can I have your Instagram account?
no.
Please. I won't
Definitely
DM
not.
anybody. Just
Please.
let me scroll in peace. I'd rather watch Bridesmaids.
You're gonna ruin my
I'm not.
feed.
I don't do anything.
Oh, yeah.
You can look at my
Football things
social
in
media
there.
here. I'll tell you exactly how much time I
Clarkson.
spent. What is that thing called? Anybody? What is it called? Where it tracks?
Instagram?
No, where it tracks your activity on your
Oh,
phone.
in your
Algorithm?
settings.
What is it called?
I don't know.
Well, thanks.
Algorithm?
Screen time.
Screen time. Thank you, guys. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
On average, per day, I'm average only 2 hours and 37 minutes on my phone
Wow.
Okay.
in the last 30 days.
That explains why
Okay.
you never answer text messages.
That is also something. How the hell do I see Instagram? All right.
It would pop up, I think, if it's one of your most used.
It's not. It's like 18th
See
on the
all
list.
activity.
See all. Yeah, I clicked on it. It doesn't show anything. Oh, here we go for the week. Instagram, 26 minutes in the last week. Twitter, an hour and 30 minutes. Those are my social media apps that I use. That's it. I'm not on social media, and they still come and attack me. Flannel, do you have this problem?
There is a lot to unpack. I will just say that.
Good morning, Flannel.
Yes, first off, I'd like to say good morning. Good morning, Gabby. Thank you very much. Yeah, of course I have that problem. And when you look through Twitter, mainly Twitter, I'll say Twitter, it certainly can get depressing sometimes. It can remind you of how far, in a lot of ways, this culture has gone. In the bad way. But at the same time, when I log into Twitter and Instagram, a lot of what I see is like people who are stands for LeBron and people who are stands for Curry, because obviously I am a sociopath when it comes to ranking NBA players, and I defend LeBron to the death. So that's kind of more what I see. But also like the rot that you see, Adam, of course I see it, and I don't like it. I try to avoid it, but you can't. It's right there in your face.
I don't know.
And like, look at this comment by Funky. He says, Adam, stop talking near your phone. Big Brother spies on everyone. In my yard, I have cardinals that fly around. Now I get updates about the MLB Cardinals, and I don't even look anything up baseball related.
You know, when this country was...
Now that's weird. That is weird.
You know what this is equivalent to? And this is probably the extreme example, but damn it, it's the only way I know how to do things around here, okay? Remember when slavery was being abolished, right? And there were states that had slavery and states that were against it? You know, leading up to this, so all the bullshit that was going on.
Okay, so
this is the equivalent
how did we get
of
here?
Some dude on the border of a state that was for slavery and on the border of one that wasn't, showing off his slaves to all the free black people in this country. That's the equivalent. I don't want to fucking see it.
How did we get here?
I don't want to fucking see it. JB, is that a horrible example?
Flannel, how was your holiday weekend?
Yo, wait, damn it, wait. JB, is that a horrible example? Or am I pretty spot on?
I just don't know how we got here. I don't know.
Yeah, JB, we took a left turn. We got off the highway on the wrong exit.
What I'm trying to say is
the
I don't
highway.
want to
We
see it.
completely detoured, and there was no exit. We just went, left turn, sure.
Yeah, we just lost the tire. I don't know
Who
what
even
happened.
uses a GPS?
We gotta get back on the highway.
I don't know how you don't use a GPS because
I don't even know that Indiana touches Michigan, so you know, who might it say anything? I'm still mad about the Lake Michigan theory. That still pisses me off.
Now it's a theory. Now it's a theory. It's just your theory. This isn't a.
I can't do it anymore. JB,
Neither
feel
can I.
free to mute my mic at any point.
I'm over here. Talk to Flannel.
God damn
Flannel
it.
is the one controlling the audio today, so.
Flannel, hook me up today. All right, here's what we're going to do. We'll get to Gabby and the charity event she was at yesterday for Frank Ragnow and the Detroit Lions. She'll give us the full scoop. I have a fun little game for you guys. Would you disown your quarterback if he did this? What this is, we'll get to. Thank you, JB, by the way. Year 2 for quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett, just to name one of them. Who's going to have the best year? Sam Howell, etc. We'll get to the Larry Brown story. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, but Larry Brown spoke on his time with the Pistons. In his last season, he said he was as good as fired. Midway into the season, Chauncey and Rip saved his job. So we'll get to that. That's going to be a fun story. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Guardian Alarm.
Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's not only proven to work, but by people that have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT for more information.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Welcome back to the Morning Over Show here at WoodwardSports.com. Thanks for tuning in. If you're looking for more content, don't worry, we have you covered. Plenty to check out on the website from our articles, clips, previous live shows. Then tune back in at 11 a.m. for Big D Energy, 2 p.m. for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, and 5 p.m. for the Woodward Heavyweights. So yesterday I had the chance to go down to Lake St. Clair and meet with Frank Ragnow and Lomas Brown. They met up for an old school versus new school fish off for their charities. They went out on a charter boat and explored the waters and spoke about their charities and kind of what led them to this point, talked a little football as well. So I have a little video here to recap the events from yesterday.
It's summertime in Michigan, which means a couple of things. Great weather, cookouts with friends, and that you'll find Detroit Lion Frank Ragnow out on the open waters of Michigan getting his fishing in. Frank Ragnow welcomed former Detroit Lion Lomas Brown out to Lake St. Clair, where they headed out to fish.
So what do we have to look forward to you guys bringing in tonight for dinner?
I'm game to catch anything. Whatever's biting, I'm game to catch.
Had a little bit of friendly competition.
I just got to try to beat Frank today. That's
the only goal,
right now.
Talk a little football.
Offensive line is not a position you get much praise, so we kind of try to keep a level head and realize that as soon as we're the best in the league, we have one bad game, we're the worst in the league. So we have to always keep that in the back of our mind.
One thing that I would tell a guy, that's going through this right now, just enjoy your time while you're playing in the league.
But they were mainly there to bring awareness to both of their fantastic charities that are making a true impact on our community here in Detroit.
So the Rags Remembered Foundation's in honor of my dad. I lost him to a heart attack in college, and it's a foundation that I've always been thinking about throughout my career, and finally was able to launch a year ago. It's able to help grieving families kind of get through their grief through the outdoors.
The Lomas Brown Jr. Foundation, and basically is geared towards helping our youth. In the Southeast Michigan area. I have sports camps and I do educational camps. And I'm just glad that my foundation is getting the opportunity to kind of team up with Frank.
For more information, how to get involved in both of their charities, go to frankragnow.org and Lomas Brown Jr. Foundation.org.
I don't know, I'm biased, but I don't think you'd ever regret going fishing. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, so it was great to be out there yesterday, learned a lot more about what they both are doing within the community. So Frank Ragnow started his foundation to celebrate his dad. His dad passed away when he was in college, and he has a lot of memories with his dad and his brothers out in the wilderness, out hunting, out fishing, in nature, and he wanted to do something to celebrate that and help individuals throughout their grieving process. He's talked a lot about how he did not grieve very well when he experienced the loss of his dad. He was in college. They played Alabama that next week, and he still played. And he did not miss a single game the rest of that season. And he says how he bottled it up and never really dealt with those emotions, and it's stuck with him a lot later in life. And he's found ways to heal throughout being in nature, and he's now bringing that to families and kids who are experiencing the same thing. They are working with a lot of individuals under the age of 17. So on Saturday, June 10th, he's hosting Camp Huddle Up for kids age 4 through 17, just to create memories outside with their families. And they're also doing great work during the season. They're doing tailgates at home where they're providing food and swag and messages from the team sent to these families throughout the season to help them create memories at home celebrating the Lions. And then Lomas's charity, it's the Lomas Brown Jr. Foundation. And similarly, he engages with the youth, creating programs to help them grow through education, academics, sports, technology, and he has all free programming camps for the youth in the Detroit area. So the next camp that they have is going to be on June 17th. It's the Big Fella Camp.
Big Fella Camp.
Football basics camp. So he's going to be out there helping with some football basics.
Keep it in your pants. Charity,
which
buddy.
is fantastic. So that is great. And they're doing fantastic things. And now they're partnering up together and doing some work together in this area, which is awesome. And they're both so passionate about it. And you can just tell that they have really good hearts behind it. So cool. Very
That is
cool to be
amazing.
out there yesterday.
Keep it together, Jeff.
What?
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
But don't worry, they also talked a lot about football too.
Yeah. How was he moving? Was he limping a little bit?
No,
he looked good.
Was fine. He was
Okay.
fine. He actually had another charity event recently at the beginning of the month, and he touched on it then about how he's recovering and that he's feeling pretty good, and that surgery is not an option, and he's going to continue to heal, and they're being careful, but they're continuing on that way. But he did have a lot to say. He did say some about the rookies, and that it's been awesome to work with them, and they're a great group, and he specifically said something along the lines of they all come in and they put their heads down and they work.
Good.
And I think that completely aligns with what we're seeing from the outside. So from the inside, you can tell it aligns.
That's a perfect match. Even Frank Ragnow, high character guy. And I've always loved Frank. Number one, when he was first drafted, I think a lot of people were like, okay, interesting. And now that Frank's career's panned out, one of the best centers in the NFL, super high character. That's the guy you want rookies to go to and talk to. I got a lot of love for Frank, man. I hope he's a Lion forever. I do.
Good on them. Good on them.
Yeah.
When's
sure
the
he'll
next charity event? Do you know?
Sorry?
Do they have another one coming up? You said June 10th, right?
Yeah, so June 10th for Frank's Camp Huddle Up, and then
Awesome.
June 17th for Lomas Brown's Big Fella Camp.
All right.
But
I love
on
it.
both of their websites, it's lomasbrownjuniorfoundation.org and frankragnow.org, and they have all the information and how to donate, events, how to get involved, how to nominate people to be a part of what they're doing. So it's all there, but they're both excited to be out there. It was funny seeing them interact and just hang out and go out fishing. And
Yeah, the amount of Lions players that just constantly give back to the community. With Jared Goff, it starts with him, with what he's doing, but Frank's always been doing stuff. There's a lot of Lions
He's got
players
that YouTube
involved in the community.
channel, Grizzly Man Outdoors,
Which is great.
It's hilarious. They haven't uploaded in a minute, but it is what it is. I'm sure he'll get out this summer. But
yeah,
I want to complain again. Okay. During the break, I'm sorry, I have to do it. Somebody has to agree with me here before I lose my shit.
We agree. We
don't agree at all. Actually, that's our problem.
We just
That's why
don't
I
have
like
the same
you anymore.
feed. We just okay.
No.
All right.
No. Minding my own business. During the break, said, you know what? Let me go check on JB and Twitter. You know what? I scroll, JB. What do we find?
Oh God. The dad of a son is now having a baby by his ex-girlfriend, apparently, I guess. I don't know. I don't know where these
What do you do if you're the guy?
Ask me about my
Banged your girl and got her pregnant with twins.
Oh,
and second, why is that on my feed? Again, 26 minutes of social media in the last week, and that's on my feed? Why? Why?
Okay.
I'd rather see Miguel Cabrera's slow ass running home yesterday than that.
have you ever been fishing before?
You don't want to hear my fishing stories,
Well,
so
I
we're
don't
gonna
know.
pass.
I
on it.
wasn't asking you.
I
was asking the man who hasn't milked a cow.
You haven't been fishing.
I went fishing. Yeah, I actually I enjoy fishing. I do. Not as much as Frank, but I've went fishing a couple times. I'm not a big time fisher, but I like fishing.
Definition of fishing: you sat in a boat and watched people fish.
No. I go to there's a boardwalk by my house, and there's another one. You can go to Lake St. Clair, where my buddy lives. He lives in St. Clair Shores, and he's actually a bigger fisherman than me, but he'll just give me. I don't have a whole reel and everything to my own. I'll just borrow his.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm not trying to. I'm not going to
you're
put on this
good.
facade.
You're
You
good,
asked me if I
buddy.
went fishing. Yes, I went fishing.
Good for you.
You're not a big fisher, as you would say.
No,
that had me weak.
I don't fish. Okay, Sam. You know
Fisher.
what? This man. Okay. This is why I don't give a damn. I didn't milk a cow. I've never milked a cow. I will never milk a cow.
Shame on you. Shame on you,
And-
by the way. Shame on you for never milking a cow. Like that is.
How is that
Because,
the
Jeff,
biggest thing
I
here
want you to
that you have
close
a
your
problem
eyes
with?
and just do this.
No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. But actually, fishing is pretty fun. It's relaxing.
You know what's the worst, by the way? I remember, this is even before Woodward Sports ever started. I had just gotten back from doing some work overseas. And it was summertime. My cousin invited me out on the boat. Invited me and a few of my other friends and cousins. And we all got up and we head down to the lake. And everybody was excited. Here we go. We're ready. We're going to have a blast. Whole day on the lake. Dude forgets the keys to the boat. only to drive
You're
back,
basic.
like we all left or whatever, ruined the day, ruined the whole day, only to drive back to the house and realize there was a set of spare keys
In the car.
in the boat.
Oh my
Great.
god.
Great.
Yeah. One of my favorite stories. Always to give him shit about to this day. So
No
whenever he asks us to
fishing-
get
no
on, go on the
fishing
boat,
happened that day.
I just tell him, "Oh, do you have the keys?"
That'll stick with you.
Fish, boats, fish, fish, boats, fish, boats. Stop showing me this fucking shit, please.
Calling fish.
Calling fish.
That shit's aggravating, man.
So you fished?
Oh yeah. Oh,
How
yeah.
do you
You
not?
fished before? How many times?
I
how many
fish
times you went fish?
annually, like 4 or 5 times a year.
Do you have a favorite spot? I had asked him this. Do you have a favorite spot?
Oh no.
No?
No. Walleye fishing is probably the best thing to do,
Yeah.
but I'm not really good at it. But it's just fun. So.
That's what I believe they went out there and did that yesterday.
Look
St.
at
Clair.
this comment's my favorite. Steve-O, Jeff looks like the type of guy to ask somebody else to get the fish off the hook because he doesn't want to get the fish slime on his hands. No, Steve-O, I do take the fish off. I don't.
Yeah.
Come on, it's not. Just because I've never milked a cow doesn't mean
Have
I
you ever
can't
had a
touch
fish
a fish.
smack you?
What is it? I mean, like
Like
in the face?
in the
or
face.
Just, no.
No?
I never had a fish smack me in the face.
Not even when you were a kid.
I mean, maybe. Why is my face so
See,
close to the
your
damn
dad
fish?
isn't an asshole. My dad's an asshole. My
Smack
dad
you
used to
with the
smack
fish?
me with the fish and then pull my shirt back and drop a fish on my back.
Okay, well that's okay.
That's how he made us
Classic.
comfortable with fish and water. He would either push you in the water or he'd put a fish down your back. Yeah. No?
My brothers.
They're
would
gonna
chase-
call
my
child
brothers-
services on my family
brothers
now?
would
What's
chase me
next?
with them. My brothers would chase me with them
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
constantly.
I think that's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
You got to face your fears.
Builds character.
100%. 100%.
Just like milking a cow.
When my son is 1 year old, we're taking him out in the water.
This is the funniest thing about
Throwing a
milking a
fish
cow.
right at 'em.
I don't know a single person outside of here that's milked a cow. I'm serious.
No,
None of
I
my
think
friends
you have a
ever
problem.
milked one.
I think you have a family
So like this
lineage
isn't a
problem.
common thing. I don't know why it's common here.
Where do you live?
How am I gonna say that? I don't want nobody. I live 40 minutes away.
Well, 40 minutes away is a fucked up town, clearly.
Yeah,
What high school
well-
did you go to?
Why? I don't need to say the
Because-
high school.
Okay, elementary school. Just give me the elementary school.
What does that have to do with
Just
anything?
tell me.
No. Why?
Because I want to call them and I want to ask them why they don't have annual field trips that take kids to the farms
You go touch
and
a
let them
cow.
milk cows. It's a mandatory experience, in my opinion. You have to have it. If you never grabbed a cow by the tit, you've never experienced life.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
I'm just saying.
I've definitely heard that one before.
I have no idea what's going on
If
with
you don't
Jeff.
grab a cow by the tit, you've never experienced life.
You know, Jeff, I know that right now you probably feel like it's you against the world. I, Flannel Sam, have never milked a cow either.
How shocking.
And
How shocking.
This idea that it's this crazy thing that Jeff has never milked a
No,
cow
I
and he
just
got
think
so
it's
much shit for it.
LeBron James fans that don't fucking milk cows, clearly.
There's
That's
a
the problem.
correlation. Does the Venn diagram intersect with LeBron James fans and people who've never milked cows?
God.
Man, you guys
That is
come
so
up with
awful.
anything.
That is so awful. Have your parents ever abused you guys with stuff like that? Dropping a fish down your back, hitting you with a fish, pushing you in the water? Anybody?
Like trying to get it to kiss me, like get the fish. To
Nah,
kiss
that's
me,
not
get me
so
to
bad.
Fish the kiss.
Yeah, that's not
kiss
so
the
bad.
Fish. What?
Any like fun parent stories? That's not bad. I
No.
feel like that's a normal thing to do. I don't think pulling somebody's shirt off and dropping a fish in it is very nice, especially when the shirt's wet and the fish is stuck there. It's not nice.
Oof.
Yeah. My dad's an asshole. I love him though.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Oh God, I got stories. You know what? I got one more story before we go to break and get this show on track. My dad, dude,
watch it.
What's
the story?
Not the end of the world.
Okay, all right,
That
cool.
Some dude, one of my brother's friends, did something in the house that he totally shouldn't have. I won't say what. And you know, my dad knew what happened, and I didn't. Full transparency, I had no idea. So one day, the kid's over. We're playing outside. My dad takes us, me, my brother, and the kid, into the garage.
Oh.
Yeah. Locks the garage door.
Oh,
You know the chains that tow trucks take your car with?
Yeah.
All right, my dad looped that chain around at the top of the garage.
Where's this going?
And made it a noose.
What the?
Oh, yeah. scared the living daylights out of us. And
That's
then he just
terrible.
asked a very simple question. He said, "You're going to tell me the truth, or I'm going to kill all of you right here, right now." It was a big deal. What happened was a big deal. I just don't want to say it. It's too personal. Anyways, so
That's too personal?
Huh?
He said that's too personal?
Yeah, that's too personal.
So my dad just hung up a fucking chain and said he was going to hang all three of us. And he asked me first. I had no idea what's going on. And he, like, freaking whipped the chain and scared the living Jesus out of
So
me.
this is why you're the way you are.
And then the kid started crying and admitted what he did, and the rest is history.
So he's okay, though?
I don't know. I haven't seen the kid since.
Okay. Well, Adam's dad is now a suspect. Yeah, we'll just move on.
What?
You said you haven't seen that kid since?
No.
All
Right. Good. After what happened, I don't blame him for never showing up. Oh, God.
I guess it's time for sports.
Well, when we get back, we have a question to ask
There's
about
nothing to
quarterbacks.
talk about. Like,
well, when we get back, we have a question to ask about quarterbacks.
Yeah, but
would you disown your quarterback if they did X?
All right, we'll get to that next. But before we go, if you guys want to know, he kissed my sister. Younger sister. Shouldn't have. Anyways, big boy, Jeff.
What?
Dude. It's like an 11-year-old kissing a 5-year-old.
Okay,
Made no sense.
okay.
Anyways, dude, it's the whole fucking story.
Transitioning.
You wanted to
When
know,
we
I
get-
told you.
All right.
Before we get back,
Transitioning to Big Boy, terrible transition. Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. Try classic breakfast items
You guys are
like the
such
strawberry
pussies,
hotcakes
honestly.
or mouth-watering red velvet waffle. But if you're not feeling breakfast, you can get lunch as well with the strawberry bacon chicken wrap or cool off with their refreshing summer splash salad. Don't forget to grab dessert as well. Their very delicious strawberry pie, deep fried vanilla Oreos, or strawberry hot fudge cake, and more at Big Boy.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here at woodwardsports.com. Thanks for tuning in. If you're listening via podcast, download and leave a 5-star review. And if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe.
That Ryan Ermanni, man, that shot.
Dude.
Whoever did that, was that Justin? Who
Yeah,
made that? Wow,
probably.
he's a legend. He is a legend.
Look, you know, by the way, before we get into this quarterback talk, you guys need to understand, my dad is like the king of mental warfare. My dad never used to like beat us up when shit went wrong. My dad would make me like go get the belt to beat my ass. And the walk to get the belt and back was worse than the potential ass whooping I was going to get. So, yeah.
Yeah, well,
my brother knew. I didn't know. So my dad brought us in thinking like, oh, okay, these motherfuckers like are hiding this from me. So he threatened to kill us all, and you know what? It's a great fucking move on him. If I was my dad, I would have shot the kid, but you know, here we are.
Oh, you don't need to say that out loud.
Nah, I know, I'm just joking. Am I?
We'll never know.
Oh, God. I got way more than that, but we're just going to move on.
Yeah.
Anyways, would you disown your quarterback, right? No matter how good they are, if they went to a Taylor Swift concert? JB?
I'm playing this without the sound, so.
Oh God! I mean, just like imagine Jared Goff doing this. Like, I get the ayahuasca, hiding in a cabin for a week, you know, disowning your family, you know, hanging out with Miles Teller or Tiller, whatever the fuck his name is, I don't know. And then some random girl. I get it. I get it.
This is the one that really got me. I don't know if I'd be too happy if I saw this as a Jets fan.
Yeah, just, you know, living his life. Good for him. I don't blame him at all.
Yeah, listen.
I'm not going to disown Michael. As much as I'm against Taylor Swift, I think she's bad for society. But that's a whole different conversation. I'm joking. Gabby. Anyways, as much as I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift's music, guy's living his life. Let him live.
Yeah,
he should have taken off his shirt while he was doing it.
My favorite video that JB put up there is the out-of-body experience, Aaron Rodgers. Like, we know Aaron, and listen, he's an interesting guy. I mean, he's... Interesting is probably a friendly term for Aaron Rodgers.
He's sophisticated.
Sophisticated.
Big, what's his name? Big Ross? What's his name? Rick Ross, there you go.
Oh,
Rick Ross wrote that song about him.
Well,
so sophisticated.
He can listen.
He made that song about Aaron Rodgers.
He can listen
you should listen to it, Jeff.
Listen, he can listen to whatever he wants to listen to, but this, like, dude,
he's living his life. Leave him alone. What's wrong with that?
Man, you know what's funny? Maybe he needed to get out of Green Bay because this Aaron Rodgers, he's a different man.
He left Lambeau.
And he's much happier.
He's in New York, and now he's living his life.
Doesn't have Brian.
Would you disown your quarterback?
He's totally leaning into it. Totally leaning into the New York celebrity at all the games.
I don't
blame
blame
all
him.
Of the things.
I don't blame him.
He went to 2 nights. Taylor Swift was there 3 nights. He went to 2 of the 3 nights.
It's like attending an all-boys school all your life, and the second they throw you into a mixed school, you go fucking like a ravaged animal. You know? No,
yeah, I don't know. I don't.
It's the same thing.
And I would like to know the history of Aaron Rodgers showing up at Taylor Swift concerts. I don't know if that's his. They cannot be his first one.
It's not his first one.
Okay, well,
good for him.
Not his first
I'm glad
one.
he's living his best life.
But he's like outwardly on social media, Swiftie.
Jeez.
Like very outwardly.
What does that mean?
On social media.
What's a Swiftie?
It means
like,
you're a
like
psychopath.
fans have like names if they follow.
Like
a
you're
certain
a
person.
Jamesy.
Yeah. I am.
Or you're a Bronny, one of the two. Bronny or a Jamesy, one of the two.
Whatever
Scottie Pippen's the only guy I know that sucks LeBron's dick more than you and Flannel Sam do.
Yeah, well, Michael's son traumatized Scotty, so I don't know what's going on with him. And Future as well. He's gotten traumatized. But regardless, I wouldn't disown my quarterback. I would probably just cringe as I'm cringing now. He's not even my quarterback. He's for the Jets, and I'm still cringing. So I can't imagine Jets fans. As long as he's taking the Jets to the playoffs, I don't think Jets fans really give a damn who he listens to, as long as he plays well.
But I do think that this video will resurface of him saying, the Jets win the Super Bowl if he screws up in the playoffs.
I mean, that's
going to be a
history,
meme.
but
it's gonna keep resurfacing. Like that was the only video that I was like,
I don't think anybody can make fun of the Jets if they get to an AFC title game. I think that would be a massive achievement.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't even need to be Super Bowl for me. They get to an AFC title game, that alone is like, well done. Worth the investment.
Then you're telling me Aaron Rodgers' first year with New York, he got farther than either Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes. I'll take that. Makes an AFC title game over one of those two.
Gabby, do you keep up with Taylor Swift or you're not a fan?
I don't.
Okay.
I have never been.
This is
going to
sound ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'd like to think you're much more knowledgeable in the music industry than I am.
Where's this going?
Hear me out.
Setting me up.
Like, how is she still putting out music? How long has she been doing this? For 10 years plus? 12 years? 14 years?
Longer than that.
Longer than that? Great. How many breakups can you have and write a song in a different way 15 plus years on? That's my question. So, is the music any good? I get it. She comes out in 2008, 2007, wherever the fuck she came out. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Some guy broke her heart. Romeo and Juliet. That was a whole fucking thing. Oh my God. She's the bee's knees. I get it. Fine. But after 50 dudes break up with you, maybe you're the fucking problem and you should stop writing about it.
That's fair.
I'm just saying.
That's fair. Emotional,
So
damn
this
it.
whole tour has like completely blown up on the internet. I feel like because she was in like hiatus for ages and now it's back out and she got all the rights back to her music. So it's essentially going
for her.
through every single one of her eras. That's why it's called the Eras Tour.
Oh, wow.
So it goes through every single one of her different like eras, which is all kind of linked to a different boy. And they're all like completely different. I don't know.
Flannel,
I don't know.
you a big Taylor Swift fan, buddy?
I wouldn't say I'm a fan per se, but she has some songs that I like. It seems like I'm probably the biggest Taylor Swift fan in the room. And this
I
is
think you definitely are.
maybe I am. And you know what? I knew you were trouble slaps. And don't deny it. Don't deny it. I know you in the chat are going to try to deny it. You can't deny it. It's like,
Sam Flannel, what did you
Song,
just
I Knew
say?
You Were Trouble.
that song goes hard.
I think it's just called Trouble.
Is
Sam.
it? Maybe it is.
What
but
is it
that's
called?
all right.
Sam, what did you
Trouble.
What did you just say? You
Sing
said
it. Sing it for me. I've never heard it, but
I knew you were trouble when you walked in. What?
good on you, Flannel.
Trouble.
Is that
trouble,
recent music or
trouble.
older?
Older.
That's older.
Like how older? Like 10 years,
Like,
15 years?
I think that was like
Wow.
probably 10 years ago.
Oh, wow. Oh, so he got the like fresh breakup
10 or
songs.
11 years
Yeah, good for you, Flannel.
Thank you.
Good for you.
I'm not a Swiftie by any means, but you know what? If any of you out there,
might be a little bit of a Swiftie.
I like some of her songs. Sue me. All you in the chat, sue
Sue
me,
me.
okay? And you know what? If you're one of those people that knocks on Aaron Rodgers for going to a Taylor Swift concert and listening to the music that he wants to listen to and enjoy it the way he wants to enjoy it, you know what? You have Aaron Rodgers derangement syndrome. That is the only explanation. You guys are just going to hate on Aaron Rodgers for no matter what he does. This is fine. He is living his best life. He is going to a concert. Who wouldn't do stuff like that if you had Aaron Rodgers money? That's right. That's what I thought. So stop it. Stop it, all of you. I'm going to disarm
I
you
find it
before you
hard
get
to believe
started.
that I would spend my money going to a Taylor Swift concert, but you know.
She's coming here.
Is she?
June, like soon, like June 9th and 10th.
That's
gonna be
great.
Here.
Good for her.
What is worse? The fact that I've never milked a cow or Sam Flannel's Taylor Swift knowledge?
Oh no, you not milking a cow is much more
That's
egregious.
worse than-
Absolutely.
Wow.
Gabby, you would agree with that, right?
Yeah, probably.
Like it's
I mean,
music.
like that's common.
Like milking a cow is a fundamental thing you
Dude,
have to
dudes
do as
just-
a kid. No
Dudes
wonder
just
you-
walk around singing Taylor Swift, but a guy hasn't milked a cow. That's a big problem.
Yeah.
Like, go milk a
There's-
cow.
There's a fundamental issue with you.
Okay.
And now I know what it is. You've never milked a cow.
I was just throwing it up.
I mean, look at your tattoo. Jeff doesn't get that tattoo if you milked a
It
cow.
always goes back to it.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, you got a point.
So while I don't like Taylor Swift, I will say like the whole craze around her and this album and all of her fans, like you don't get that without some level of talent.
Oh no, I'm sure she's exceptional.
Yeah.
It's just not my kind of music.
I mean, 3.5 hour concert on your feet, entertaining the whole time as pretty much a one person
Yeah, no.
situation. Like that's
She's
that's
great.
a lot.
Good for her.
But I will say like the level that I'm at is I've been to a Taylor Swift concert, went when I was younger, got tickets for free, had the opportunity to meet her and turned it down. Because I was like,
All right. I just think you're, levels
I was just like, yeah.
above Taylor Swift.
I just
Probably.
didn't, I was like, you know what? If someone
fuck
else in
you,
the group
bitch.
wants
Yeah,
to
I
go,
get it.
go.
I get it.
I'm good.
I don't need to meet you. Yeah, but if you're a dude listening to Taylor Swift, like how many times can you listen to her saying how much of a piece of shit you are and that you broke her heart? Yeah, how many more times? I get it. I'm a scumbag. I didn't make you happy. Whatever the fuck that means. Just, here we are.
She's got some non-breakup songs. Another banger, Style by Taylor
no,
Swift. That
Sam.
song goes hard. It does.
Sam.
Come on.
Sam, that's two strikes. Sam, that's two
Can you
strikes.
sing some of the song? Because I'm not
Oh
familiar.
God. You know what? I can't. I'm all tapped out. I can't sing that
All
one.
right, let's go
It
around
also
the room.
requires
Harry
some falsetto.
Styles. How many people listen to Harry
No,
Styles?
we're
in
not
this
doing.
room?
We're not doing.
Yeah.
No.
Harry Styles has some good songs.
Thank you.
What are you talking about? What am I, like an uncultured swine because I like some Harry Styles and Taylor Swift songs?
Nothing wrong with Harry Styles.
Thank you.
Nothing wrong with it. I'd fuck him. Nothing wrong
Okay,
with
how
it.
did we get there?
Gabby, you listen to Harry Styles?
Like actively, not really.
Not
but
actively,
like, I
but
wouldn't
if it's on, I'm
change-
sure
I
you're
wouldn't
gonna listen to
change the song. if
Thank
it
you.
came out.
That's the point. Right? If somebody is on the radio or on your phone, it's on shuffle, and it comes on, are you gonna hit skip? Harry Styles, depending on the song, I probably don't skip.
Okay.
If it's a song I don't know, I definitely skip.
That's your opinion.
I'm just saying. It's
For
not an
me,
opinion.
I'm skipping. Yeah, I don't want to
don't like
listen to
songs
Taylor
for a
Swift.
sushi
I don't want to
restaurant?
listen to Harry Styles. Not saying they don't make good music, but it ain't music for me. I don't enjoy it. So it's just my opinion.
I'd rather fuck Harry Styles than Taylor Swift. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. Well, now
At least I know for a fact I'm not going to be the cover of the next album.
Well, am I like on an island here? Like JB? Like do you just sit there and vibe to Harry Styles and Taylor
JB has
Swift?
a wide taste of music. So I think he
actually
would.
have listened to Harry Styles. He's not bad. He's
Thank
not
you,
bad,
JB.
man.
Jeff, I think you're fucked up. See,
Hey,
if
that's
you would have
fine.
just milked a cow, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But here we are.
I guess I'm the only. Maybe the chat agrees, but I skip both. I don't have any interest in it. Just not my taste.
You're driving down with your girlfriend in the car, windows down.
Well, that's
watermelon sugar high comes on the.
And he doesn't get to control the radio.
Yeah.
No, if it's just me and if there's no one else in the car, I'm not thinking of anyone else. Then yeah, I'm skipping that thing. I'm skipping. Boop.
And you're going to what? J. Cole?
Yeah. Anything else? J. Cole, Kendrick, doesn't matter what it is.
Who? Gentry?
Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, Kendrick.
Gentry?
It did kind of sound
That
like
sounded like Gentry.
It sounded like Kendrick.
I'm Corday. It doesn't matter who it is. I'll
So
change
I have to round this out.
Corday's smashing that tennis girl, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Still.
That's the only reason why I know him.
But,
Because
sorry.
again, my Twitter feed shows me the most random shit. Why would I know
And
that?
before we get back to that, I have to
I think
round
she's
out
Japanese.
this segment. Would you disown
she's
your
black, too.
quarterback? Would you disown your quarterback if they went to a Taylor Swift concert?
No.
I would. Okay. I wouldn't diss them or lose faith in them if they went to a Taylor Swift concert. But if Jared Goff
You're
was
not
out,
allowed to have an opinion on this.
Why?
LeBron James shirtless in the gym, putting his hand on his head, recording himself. Like, don't even don't even do that shit.
That goes hard. Come on.
Don't even do that shit. Him pumping his fist like he's milking a cow. See something you clearly don't know how to do.
Yeah, well, I guess not. No, I'm not going to lose faith. If Jared wants to go vibe to Taylor Swift, he can go vibe as long as the guy shows up on Sunday and plays well. I don't give a damn what he
God.
listens to.
Adam?
He can listen to opera. I don't care. I just don't have any taste in it, but that's just me. All right?
Gabby.
What's your answer to the question?
Oh, no. No problem at all.
Flannel?
No, of course not.
JB Lucas?
Flannel will be singing with him.
No,
All right, go
I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
Lucas is Canadian. He's not allowed
I'm
to
not
have an
Canadian.
answer.
He is not. No.
I have some common sense, and if a leader is listening to Taylor Swift, it's
Oh,
not a
dear
leader.
God.
It's not a leader of men.
If this was Joe
You're
Burrow,
jamming out there with Taylor Swift, I'm sorry.
Lucas,
I'm
if this
not
was
having
Joe
it.
Burrow, you would be singing a different
Joe
tune.
Burrow wouldn't be doing that.
What if he did?
I don't
Joe
know.
Burrow was I
Joe
thought
Burrow
Joe
kind
Burrow
of
was
seems like a
banging
Swiftie.
some
Thank
LSU
you.
cheerleader or whatever she is.
What's up with it?
Gymnast. Isn't he married? I don't fucking know. See, social media throws me off. Everything might be fake. Maybe it's all true. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll take a break.
And Soft Jones also added, thank you, Soft Jones. Joe Burrow is also 20 years younger.
Who?
Oh my goodness.
Wait, what?
I didn't factor the age
Little less
into
little-
this.
Yeah, think about it. Aaron Rodgers is almost 40 out there.
Yeah, but isn't she like almost 40?
No, is she?
No.
She's
No,
like 32,
she's in her 30s.
34.
Yeah, she's in her 30s.
40, 50,
33.
33. See, she's an old bitch.
Okay, we got to get to break.
And when we come back, we're going to be talking about which teams should go after this USC star. Jeff, Adam, commercial.
Oh, all right. We got to go to break.
Do I need to read?
Let me tell you about Swiss Insurance. How about that? All right, because we're going to need insurance for obvious reasons. Swiss Insurance, be a boss. Take control of your insurance. Draft a company that'll give you the most cost-effective plan and protect you, like our own Frank Ragnow in the best O-line in the league. Email Swiss Insurance today, mark@swissins.com. That's mark@swissins.com. Or go to www.swissins.com for more information.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here at woodwardsports.com. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching on the website, check out everything else that we have going on, from articles, clips, previous live shows. If you're listening via podcast, download this episode and leave a 5-star review. And if you're watching on YouTube, get in the chat and also like and subscribe.
All right, Jeff, I've learned a lot about you today. Lizzo or Taylor Swift? Who are you listening to? Who would you rather smash?
Listening to
Answer both.
and that are very different.
What's the question?
Who are you listening to? If you have to choose between the two, and then which one are you trying to smash? Just answer the question.
I thought we were moving on to
Flannel,
football.
smash or
Okay.
pass?
Who would I listen to?
Yeah.
If I had a gun to my head, I'd probably listen to Taylor Swift.
Okay. Who you smashing? I know you like big women.
No, it's gonna be Taylor Swift.
All right, for God's sake, let's talk about something sports related. Maybe we'll see how the next 10 minutes go. Caleb Williams Tankathon is officially on. Presumably the #1 overall pick, reigning Heisman winner. Hell, he might win 2 Heismans in a row if USC does good enough, and maybe they get to a college football playoff. But Jeff, my question to you this morning, and Flannel Sam, feel free to interject on this as well, is which team will/should go after the USC star? Which team should punt their season in order to land a franchise quarterback?
I got a good one. Interesting one, because the obvious would be Tampa. You're going to have Kyle Trask starting, or Baker Mayfield. They're going to suck. So that's an obvious one. Another one that I think would be interesting, the LA Rams. They have a first-round pick this year. Matthew Stafford, aging, injury-prone. Suffered a lot of, he had some concussions last year. The Rams have their first-round pick this year. So if the Rams look at this season and look at it like, you know what, we're not going to win a Super Bowl. We don't have enough to win a Super Bowl. They traded away Jalen Ramsey. They let go of Allen Robinson. Cooper Kupp will be back, but still, for the most part, why not just throw this season away, go get Drake May or Caleb Williams, and you get set up for another 10, 15 years with your future franchise quarterback. Maybe Sean McVay sticks around a little longer. I think Matthew Stafford, at this point in his career, he's got some left to give, but he's cooked injury-wise. I mean, he really is. That would be a good one. I think another team that, and I don't believe they'll draft a quarterback, but they're going to have potentially 2 top 5 picks, Arizona. They're going to have their own first overall pick, could be #1, depending on how the season goes with Kyler. But they're also going to have the Texans' first-round pick, which could be top 5. So you have 2 top 5 picks. I don't think they'll draft a quarterback, but trust me, if I'm Arizona, I am 100% drafting a quarterback if I have the #1 or #2 pick. Take Caleb Williams, figure it out with Kyler Murray. He's head and shoulders above Kyler. So those are some interesting teams, but I think the Rams are the most intriguing, because if they can go from Matthew after winning a Super Bowl to their next franchise quarterback, just throw this season away, that'd be amazing for LA.
Flannel?
Especially with Herbert in LA.
I would probably go with Tampa, honestly. It's weird because there aren't a ton of teams in the NFL that I look at that are going to be so terrible that they're going to draft #1, and even those that could be are teams like the Colts and maybe the Texans.
But I want you to think of this as not only the bad teams.
Yeah.
I want you to really think here. Which team would you advise to go ahead and punt their season in order to get this kid?
All right. Well, if we're looking at that, I would look at a team like the Tennessee Titans, honestly. I know that they just drafted Will Levis, but I don't believe in him at all. The thing about Caleb Williams is Lincoln Riley has obviously been arguably the greatest groomer of young quarterbacks in the past 4 or so years. I mean, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, they all played under him, and they all have gone on to some degree of success in the NFL. 2 have won Heismans. As much as I hate to say it about Baker Mayfield, he wasn't a complete flop at all times in Cleveland. What Caleb Williams is and what he has, he is the one quarterback out of the ones that Lincoln Riley has coached and has won Heisman's or been second in the Heisman that doesn't have obvious deficiencies. He's not short. He's got a strong arm. He's accurate. He's got everything you could want out of a quarterback. With guys like Baker Mayfield, you're worried about arm strength and height. With Kyler Murray, you're worried about height. With Jalen Hurts, people question whether or not he was a polished passer or not. With Caleb Williams, there are no questions. He's pretty much in most ways the perfect prospect. So if you're the team like the Tennessee Titans that could probably win, I don't know, 6 or 7 games, I wouldn't hate it if they just tanked the season and decided we are going to tank and get Caleb Williams. I know they just got Will Levis, and that's a little bit of a question mark, but I don't believe in him. I think Caleb Williams is, if he would have been in this past draft, he would have been the number 1 overall pick. He's one of those generational type guys. You should tank for a guy like Caleb Williams.
Yeah, and Peter says, and I love this comment too, at WoodwardSports.com, if the Titans do that, it will mean they've used their second-round pick this year and third-round pick last year in the last 2 years on nothing, essentially, because they got Malik, Will Levis, and now they're if they do potentially draft a quarterback,
Let's live in a
the
world.
writing's on the wall, Ryan Tannehill.
Let's live in a world where we can look into the future and we assume that Caleb Williams is going to be, at worst, Kyler Murray and potentially a Jalen Hurts type quarterback, okay? Let's just use that example for the sake of argument.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 teams on my list, none of which you brought up or anybody in the chat, and I'm very, very surprised. The first team, I think, should be obvious, the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm sorry, I have to deal with Russell Wilson and Sean Payton, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and whoever the hell his coach is going to be beyond this year, maybe it's Brandon Staley, for the next decade. They're not going anywhere. I'm never winning that division with Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins, doesn't matter who the hell I have, even if they're good. I need great to win in the AFC. So if I'm the Raiders, that's on my agenda. And in the NFC, a team that was a playoff team last year, I believe they won a playoff game. Did they?
Depends on who the team is.
No, they didn't. I think they lost in the first round.
Who?
Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys should punt their season. You've got the biggest brand in the country. Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFC East.
Mm-hmm.
If the Commanders suck as much as I think they're going to suck, you don't want Caleb Williams changing a franchise within your division, let alone your conference. And I know it's harsh to say Dak Prescott, a good quarterback. Hell, he was a top 12, 15 quarterback going into last year. You could argue he's still the same this year. But I'm sorry. Maybe in the NFC you can get away with it. But if you want to be clearly the second or third best team for the next decade, you get your hands on a franchise quarterback.
What about
Caleb Williams could be that. And to me, Dak Prescott's not getting you to the Super Bowl. Hell, he's never gotten you to an NFC title game. So yeah, I'm not interested. To me, punt the season, get rid of McCarthy and Dak Prescott.
What about another team that no one mentioned yet that I think would be interesting? NFC, weak quarterback conference. In this specific division, the NFC South, you have Bryce Young, Tampa, who's going to be gunning for one of the top 2 quarterbacks or a quarterback. And then the Saints, who just got Derek Carr. What about the Falcons? With what they're building offensively.
No.
Kyle Pitts, Drake London. You have Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. And they're building their offensive line. They're going to be one of the worst teams this year.
They're gonna. That's the point. Like,
so
for me, I'm looking at
if Desmond
teams
Ridder craps the bed, there you go.
Fine, but you're assuming average teams are going to underperform. I'm looking at teams that really need this guy.
You just brought up Dallas.
Dallas is a playoff. They were a 12-win team last year.
Right.
They're not shitting the bed this year. And that's my point. I think they should punt their season to get their hands on this kid. They got Jalen Hurts in the division for the next 10 years.
I'm looking at more realistic possibilities.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm looking at what team should fucking punt their fucking season to get their hands on a franchise quarterback.
If we're doing that,
you want to go to the AFC, which is loaded with quarterbacks.
If we're doing that, then I'll go Seattle. Punt your season. Get your quarterback. Geno Smith, you go from Geno to Caleb Williams. See, like now it doesn't work.
No, it's not that it doesn't work.
What are we doing?
It's not that it doesn't work.
That doesn't work for
fine.
you.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's an acceptable answer. But the point I'm making here is, if I tell you Caleb Williams guaranteed as he's a Joe Burrow, he's a Jalen Hurts, he's one of those guys. I'm looking at teams that have like 11, 12 win potential, and I'm thinking, what's their quarterback situation? Joe Burrow in Kansas City, I don't have to worry about. Deshaun Watson in Cleveland, I don't know what to make of Cleveland. Lamar and Baltimore are tied together to the hip for the foreseeable future. And then I'm missing one more team. The Steelers have Kenny Pickett. Okay, let's go to the AFC East. Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Mac Jones, and Tua Tagovailoa. Again, Miami, I would throw in that list. Miami, you've gone all in the offseason. They're not going to settle for a 3-4 win season. But if Tua goes down, I'm making that call, man. And I'm getting Caleb Williams, and I'm losing every fucking game, and I'm telling Mike McDaniel, hey, buddy, your job's fine. I think we all agree you can coach. We like what you did your first year. Circumstantial with the quarterback injury. Second year, Tua goes down by week 2, punt the fucking season, and we'll return everybody back, loaded roster with a rookie quarterback. Like, that's the way I see it, but we'll take a break. When we get back, I have a question for everybody in the chat, and then we'll get to the year 2 quarterbacks. Which one will have the best season? Who's poised? Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, or Brock Purdy? But before we do, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Planet Fitness. Sign up today by visiting planetfitness.com. $10 a month is all it takes. Or if you're between the ages of 14 and 19, well, my friends, I have a very, very special offer from Planet Fitness for you. You can work out the entire summer up until August 31st for free. That's right, for free in all of North America. So what are you waiting for? Get to a local Planet Fitness near you. We'll see you after the break.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show here at woodwardsports.com. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching on the website, check out our articles, our previous clips from shows, and soon some episodes of the Celebrity Golf Tour. Just throwing that out there. And if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe if you're listening. Wherever you listen to your podcast, download and leave a 5-star review. And follow us on social media at Woodward Sports.
So I was thinking during the break, we're going to get to this quarterback conversation for year 2 quarterbacks. Which one's going to take the furthest step forward? So, Flannel, I want to start with you. And I want to pose a question to you before you just answer the basic one, which is which of the 4? My question to you is, do you think Sam Howell has anything in him to potentially win over people in Washington?
No. I don't think I think his ceiling is average game manager who doesn't screw it up. I don't know if Washington has enough pieces around him to make it so to where he wins the fans over. I just think it's headed for failure. I mean, what other evidence is there? I haven't seen anything to indicate that he's good.
So Ron Rivera was ranked as the 19th best coach by the 33rd team. We did the list yesterday, and I actually like the list because it's all-inclusive. I think it's very 2023. It makes everybody feel good. We bring everybody along. We tell fat people that their body is okay. And Ron Rivera, he's a handicap head coach, but he's the 19th best coach in the NFL. Make it make sense.
No, I caught that, actually. I agree with you. I don't understand what Ron Rivera has done to warrant all of the praise that he gets. Honestly, he shouldn't have a job right now, in my opinion, as a head coach. He should be a defensive coordinator. I think he had that one fluke year with Carolina where they went 15-1, but other than that, he's just been very, very mid. So I agree with you, Adam. Ron Rivera is one of the more overrated names in the past 5 or 10 years as head coaches go.
All right, between the 4, Pickett, Ridder, Howell, and Purdy, who has the best second season?
There's a couple that I'm looking at. I'm looking at Brock Purdy if he plays, because we talk about Brock Purdy and how he was insulated in the Kyle Shanahan system. If he plays, he's going to get that exact same system with Christian McCaffrey, with Trent Williams, with Deebo Samuel, with George Kittle, and of course having the Kyle Shanahan system. And for all of you who want to say it was just Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy played quarterback the best I've seen a San Francisco 49er quarterback play since maybe prime Colin Kaepernick. He was better to me than Jimmy G ever was, so I think there's something there. And with Kenny Pickett, I saw a little bit towards the end of the year that maybe could indicate that he could be all right, although a couple of his wins were those classic wins where the defense keeps him in it. He doesn't do shit all game and then has one drive at the end to win, and he gets all the praise. You know how much I hate that. You know how much Tom Brady was the merchant of those type of moments. So, to me, given all that I just said, I'm going to go with Brock Purdy in the best system. He's insulated, and he played damn well last year. They might have won that game if he didn't get hurt against the Eagles. They might not have, but it would have at least been competitive.
Yeah, I think Brock Purdy's probably the obvious one because of what Sam said. He played well last year. He has playoff experience, and he has the best coach schematically out of anybody else. So Brock Purdy's the easy one. He's got the best skill players, too. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk. I mean, he's got a ton of talent around him, too. One of the best offensive lines. Don't forget that. Because you look at Washington's, Pittsburgh's, who they're improving, but still not a great offensive line. Same with Atlanta. So he's got the best situation. He's got the best weapons. He's got the best offensive line. He's got the best coach. So Brock Purdy's the obvious one. But besides Brock Purdy, I'm going to go Kenny Pickett here because of a similar reason I went Brock Purdy. Sam Howell, I do think can be decent. I just don't think it'll be enough for them to say he's our franchise quarterback, especially if the Washington Commanders win 5 games this year and they're in reaching distance for one of these quarterbacks. I'm sure they're all going to be clamoring to get a Drake May or Caleb Williams. I don't know if Sam Howell will convince the organization he's their guy, but I can see him having a somewhat decent year. Desmond Ridder, I'm pretty much completely out on. I'm not a huge fan of Desmond Ridder. I know he played a little last year. Even with the supporting cast he has and Arthur Smith, I think Atlanta's going to be selecting a quarterback next year. But Kenny Pickett, to me, because you got Mike Tomlin, they're going to commit to running the football. They drafted Broderick Jones. Their offensive line's a little better, and he's got weapons. I mean, George Pickens, who I like a lot, Deontay Johnson, Allen Robinson, who, again, isn't in the same role he was in with L.A., and then you have Pat Freiermuth, who's still a pretty good tight end. So we'll just see how Pittsburgh's offense looks, because even last year was pretty subpar overall. They just did enough to win games. And you look at their defense, which I think is very important for any of these quarterbacks, their defense. And Kenny Pickett and Brock Purdy have the 2 best defenses. So situation-wise, I think it's Kenny Pickett and Brock Purdy for me personally. I think Desmond Ridder and Sam Howell, they might not be starting quarterbacks next season. So we'll see.
Well, you're going to have an issue with Purdy. He's going to miss God knows how many games. Sam Howell, I just don't like the coach. I don't think Sam Howell's a bum. And I think he'll look okay. I think he'll have games where he looks okay and games where he looks like Baker Mayfield. And that's going to happen. Desmond Ridder, honestly, I think has a chance to surprise everybody this year. Not because I like him as a quarterback, but for the reasons you both gave about Kenny Pickett and Brock Purdy. If I'm Desmond Ridder and I'm running RPOs with Tyler Algier, I'm running RPOs with Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts coming off an injury, and I got Drake London, I mean, there is no excuse to me for Desmond Ridder not to have a huge season this year. Is it going to be 3,200 yards passing, 600 rushing? That would probably be the best case scenario. Is it realistically going to be 2,500 yards passing with 600 yards rushing? I would imagine so. That'd be my guess. But I think Desmond Ridder, he's got the offensive coach, he's got the weapons. They're going to go all in on him this year. Atlanta's in a weak division. Am I crazy?
No, I don't think you're crazy. I mean, even last year with Desmond, the games he did play, it was pretty mid. I mean, he was all right. And now you got Bijan Robinson, which will help him, especially the run game they have with Algier and Bijan Robinson. I don't know what to expect out of Desmond Ridder. I liked him at Cincinnati, but he was also a 4-year starter. Sam, what do you think? So Desmond Ridder this year. How about this? Desmond Ridder or Sam Howell? Who do you have more confidence in?
I would probably say Desmond Ridder, and a lot of that does have to do with the situation. To me, though, Desmond Ridder, the problem that I have with him that I don't necessarily know for sure about with Kenny Pickett is that, to me, Desmond Ridder is as milquetoast of a quarterback as you can possibly be. I think his ceiling is something along the lines of what Daniel Jones was last year. He might throw between 15 and 19 touchdown passes. He might not even throw for 3,000 yards. He will be a threat on the ground. But to me, there's no juice. There's no star power. There's no, and not that he has to be, but there's nothing that makes me go, wow. With Kenny Pickett, I think there is a chance, I'm not saying I would bet the mortgage on it, that Kenny Pickett can eventually become the next franchise quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Desmond Ridder, he's just such a safe game manager type quarterback. I just don't see anything with him that makes me excited. As long as he doesn't turn the football over, he can be serviceable, but that's it. Full stop.
And if you look at Sam Howell, he only played in one game last year, and it was against the Cowboys. And you look at just his stats overall, he's a true dual threat quarterback. Like with what he was doing in that one game, he had 5 carries for 35 yards and a touchdown. But what he did through the air as well, he had a beautiful pass to Terry McLaurin. I remember seeing as well, 11 of 19, 169 yards, a touchdown, a pick. Like, he looked solid in his one start. And same with Desmond, he looked all right. But Sam Howell still has weapons in Washington. So those two, I guess based off college tape, Sam Howell had some great years at North Carolina. I know that the last year he didn't have his the same weapons he had the year prior, his sophomore year, so he struggled a little bit. I like Sam Howell a lot, to be honest with you. I don't know the ceiling of these guys. I don't think Sam Howell will be a franchise quarterback, but I do think overall wise compared to Desmond Ridder, he might have a pretty good year as well. He will. But I think Kenny Pickett and Brock are the two best. They're going to have the two best years. Right. Even if when Brock comes back, I know he's going to be hurt. When he comes back, he's still going to have all those weapons available with Kyle Shanahan. So still in the best situation.
Do you think it's going to be tough for Brock Purdy to shine his second year after last year and his whole story and coming out and playing under the circumstances that he was playing in and being thrown into the game? Do you think that's going to affect how people look at his performance this next year?
No, I don't, because he starts 12 games this year. He's going to win 10 of them. He's going to throw 18 touchdowns and probably 4 to 5 interceptions only. The guy's going to be really good. He just knows how to play in Kyle Shanahan's offense. So,
yeah,
is he going to shine? I mean, shine on an individual level?
I think last year was his year to shine.
Well, I mean, he surprised us.
Mm-hmm.
But if he comes out this year and is more efficient and more in control of the offense, I still think that's something you should praise,
again,
right? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And Kenny Pickett is the one I'm really watching this year because, he was drafted 20th overall, had a great year at Pitt his last year. I didn't really see much last year. I just saw heart, and he did everything. He gave it his all to win a lot of these games. Pittsburgh got a lot better than I thought they'd be with Kenny Pickett. But statistically, he didn't really blow anybody away. So big year for Kenny Pickett. He's got the weapons. Second year now with this offense. I'm expecting big things out of Kenny Pickett, and I think so are the Steelers.
All right, let's take a break. When we get back, I want to push the Larry Brown story to 9:30. I want to bring up a few things in the NFL surrounding the Lions. So we'll get to that next. But before we go, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Cousins Maine Lobster. Scan the QR code today or go to cousinsmainelobster.com and find out where their food trucks are going to be. Try their lobster tacos. It's my personal favorite with their clam chowder soup and, of course, a side of tots. You'll thank me later. Again, that's Cousins Maine Lobster. Scan the QR code. Find the locations today. We'll be right back.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Love Woodward Sports? sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full-line merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Well, thankfully, guys, there's always a team, in this case the Cleveland Browns, that sucks more than me in one aspect, which is there are teams that have currently the longest droughts of not winning a division in the NFL. The 4 teams are the Browns, the Lions, the Raiders, and the Jets. And I have a problem with this list because I don't think it tells the full story. I think the Raiders' 20-year drought, how do I say this in a nice way? I don't think it's as bad as people would think, nor do I think the Jets' 20-year drought is as bad as people think. I think the Browns is pretty shit, 33 years, which is the most active in the NFL, and right behind them with 29 years without a division title is the Detroit Lions. Now, why do I think the Raiders is a bit overrated or overblown, excuse me? Well, because in the 3 years prior to their last division title, they lost in the Super Bowl, lost in the divisional round, and lost in the AFC title game. And they won 12, 10, and 11 games in those 3 years, winning the division for 3 consecutive years. Had the Lions given me 3 consecutive divisions from 2000 to 2002, and an NFC title game, and a Super Bowl appearance, no one's talking about the Lions the way they talk about them now. And the only team that's comparable, because you can't even compare the Jets, because in the last 20 years, they've made the playoffs 4 times, and they've been to 2 AFC title games. So you can't even compare the Jets. The only team you can compare to the Lions is the Browns. They haven't won a playoff game in that time. They've only made the playoffs twice, which is fewer than the Detroit Lions in the last 20 years alone. And they haven't won a division over 33 years. They haven't won it since 1989. My parents didn't even have it. I don't even think my parents were married yet. That's how long it's been since the Browns have won the division. And oh, FYI, they're not winning it any fucking time soon. That's not going to happen. All right? So now that we're on the same page, which drought is the worst? Is it the Lions or is it the Browns? That's my question for everybody this morning.
Well, in totality, it's got to be the Lions. At least
in the last 33 years. That's the sample size we're doing.
Because at least the Browns, and it was with Baker Mayfield, but they still won a playoff game recently. A couple years ago, they won 11-5. They didn't win the division, but
they did.
Yeah, I'll take that. Now it's pretty close. I'm not trying to say the Browns are this prestige organization.
You say,
no,
because,
they're not.
You know,
I'm not trying to gas up the Browns, but is that a fact? They just won in 2020.
That matters to you.
Yeah, they blew out the fraudulent Steelers.
It doesn't matter if they're fraudulent.
They still blew them out.
I don't care about that.
And they took the Chiefs till the last minute
with an injured Mahomes, but yeah.
Yes, still. And
Chad Henne.
Chad Henne made some plays, but still, they did that. They lost in the divisional round. So recent history favors the Browns, but in totality, with just you talk about the franchise players and things like that. Maybe I'd go Lions, but it's comparing garbage to garbage at that point.
Okay.
So it's
Flannel, who's had it worse in the last 33 years? The Lions?
Well,
the Browns?
Before I answer that, I just have to say one thing. I know you said we were like, now that we're on the same page, I have to throw a little bit of the flag on the whole, the Raiders drought wasn't as bad. Because I get what you're saying about those 3 seasons before, but then in the following 13 seasons, they had one of the worst stretches of NFL football that has ever existed by a single franchise. They were morbid for 13 years, and then they had that season where Derek Carr broke out, got injured at the end, and Connor Cook had to play their playoff game, and then they ended their drought then. But anywho, neither here nor there. I would probably have to go with, I was just looking back at the Browns' record year by year. It has been pretty morbid over the past 33 years. So I would have to say the Browns by a smidge. I know they did win a playoff game with Baker Mayfield and Nick Chubb and all of that, and that's all well and good. But they have been a morbid franchise. They have also had seasons of 2 wins. They also had a winless season. And the last time
Shout out Hugh Jackson.
Absolutely. Shout out Hugh Jackson. And the last I checked, I know it's as simple as this. 33 is greater than 29. And I'll tell you what. There is a much bigger chance that the Lions break their streak this year than the Browns do this year. I think there's a very small chance the Browns do it and a very good chance the Lions do it. So to me, by a smidge, the Browns' streak is worse because the stretch that they've had, it is worse than you think. Look it up.
Yeah, and if you're going off playoff appearances, besides winning a playoff game recently, they haven't made the playoffs since 2002, and they lost in the wild card. The Lions at least have 3 wild card appearances. They lost all 3 of them, but they've been to the playoffs. So I guess I don't know. And I love this comment too. I forgot who exactly said it. Ja Wall says Browns are better by a smidge, but it's like comparing who's the ugliest kid. There's no winner. It's like, yeah, you want 3 playoff appearances compared to 1 over the last 20 years, or you want a playoff win?
This is not a debate on whose franchise has been worse historically, because it's obviously the Lions. That's not the question here. The question is, during their droughts, who's had it worse?
I would say
and
the Browns.
you brought up the playoff win for the Browns, and I think that was, I guess, a fair point. But it has to be the Browns.
Yeah, I think
because of
overall
what they've subjected their fan base to, not only the whole moving out, moving the team. I mean, you want to go into having how many quarterbacks start in the last 25 years? I believe the number's 36. That's not even funny. They've never had a franchise quarterback, and the one that they gave fully guaranteed money to isn't even playing like one. Like, I know the Lions have sucked for 29 years. It's been bad. But fuck, at least I can sit on my ass and say I watched Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, and Matthew Stafford.
No,
What can the Browns say in the last 29, 30 years? All they can say is Baker Mayfield won us a playoff game, and he's no longer our starting quarterback. And he might lose the job to Kyle Trask out in Tampa Bay. That's how bad they both suck balls. So, to me, comparing the 33-year drought compared to the 29-year drought for the Lions and Browns, it's got to be the Browns. I think they've just been worse. They've subjected their fan base to much worse. The Lions have been to more playoffs in that same amount of period, have won more divisions, or excuse me, not won more divisions, but have gotten to more playoffs. Have they won? No, they haven't. That's fair. I get it. And if you want to use the Baker Mayfield playoff win as your trump card, be my guest. I wouldn't do it, but it is what it is. But to me, I had to watch Braylon Edwards get drafted 3rd overall, and he ended up being a bust because the Browns were one of the worst situations in the NFL. He goes anywhere else, he probably catches 10,000 yards in his career. That's how much 100%. Of a talent he was and how shit the Browns were. Who were their quarterbacks? The white dude out of Oklahoma State, Brandon Weeden?
Brandon Weeden.
Yeah.
Remember Brandon Weeden?
Yeah.
You remember Brady Quinn? Tim Couch? Vinny Testaverde? Sam Kozar? Colt McCoy?
Johnny Football?
Black Campbell? God. What was his name? Campbell, the guy, not Jack Campbell.
Jason.
Jason Campbell?
Deshaun Kaiser.
Deshaun Kaiser.
Toledo. 419.
But they had Josh McCown out there too.
Josh McCown was out there?
Yeah, it's if you look at just
Tom Sack.
You look at their quarterbacks, and I know you could check their
yeah, baby, Central Catholic proud.
Who led their team in touchdowns, whatever, their quarterback every single year. Besides the last handful of years, Brissett, Mayfield, for years, it's pretty much a new quarterback.
Yeah, but you also compare
like
shit to shit. Yeah. They've had way worse coaches. Romeo Crennel, fucking Hugh Jackson. Ugh. Remember Pettin, Mike Pettin?
Oh my
God.
God.
That guy is the definition of how the fuck did you get a job?
Yeah, well.
Mike Pettin is the definition of whose sex tape do you have that you landed that job? That's what Mike Pettin was and is.
I'll do you one better. Freddie Kitchens.
Hillbilly moment.
Bum.
What the fuck?
Hey, Belichick. Bill Belichick.
Yeah, but no, it wasn't Bill that we know. So no. Imagine they were the Browns. They had Bill. That's like us getting Don Shula as our head coach and him not winning a playoff game ever. That's the comp. That's how shit the Browns have been since their last division title. So I know we give the Lions a lot of shit, and they're definitely number 2 on this list, but number 1 is 100% the Cleveland shit on Browns, okay? Can we all agree?
You made a good point about at least Lions fans, being able to watch Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders. Who's been the best player of the Cleveland Browns in the past 33 years? Probably Joe Thomas.
No,
an offensive
the
lineman.
fullback, white boy.
Oh, Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis,
Jesus
baby.
Christ.
He made the fucking cover of Madden.
He did. I remember that. It was voted on Sports Nation. Remember that show? That was actually a true story. But yeah, at least the Lions have had that. And the Browns have had basically a cavalcade of quarterbacks, of just terrible, terrible quarterbacks. It could be on this island of misfit toys could be the quarterbacks that they've had. So those are points I didn't think of. I think it's clearly the Browns. I'll give you that.
All right. I'm glad we all agree on what shit and manure is. Congratulations. That was a very successful segment. Oh, my God.
Wow, this is depressing.
I don't agree with your Raiders take, by the way. The only thing I will give you is that they drafted Jamarcus Russell, and that alone should have had their franchise rights revoked.
That's true, but they were morbid for 13 consecutive years.
But imagine I told you if I told you that you would get to an AFC title game and a Super Bowl in a 3-year window, and then you'd have to go 13 years with being one of the most shit teams in the NFL, you would take it.
I wouldn't take. Come on.
Yes,
come on.
you would.
Adam, you put...
What? I've been doing it for 60 years with the fucking Lions, and they didn't even give me a title game, let alone a Super Bowl in my lifetime.
I understand. You seem to forget how bad the Raiders were for 13 years. They were morbid. They were one of the worst franchises in the NFL, and they never cashed one in. If they would have cashed a Super Bowl in, I would agree with you. But not just getting to one and getting blown out.
North Turner, Art Shell, Lane Kiffin,
Awful.
Tom Cable, Hugh Jackson.
Awful.
All awful coaches.
Yep.
But at least I got John Gruden in a fucking Super Bowl appearance with what's his face?
Oh, was it like Bill Callahan?
Bill
or whatever?
Callahan,
yeah.
No, John Gruden built a team. They got to an AFC title game. I think that was the Brady Gate, by the way. I think that was the Charles Woodson game.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, I'm just saying, get to a Super Bowl. Yeah. I'll suck for 13 years. Lions have been sucking for 13 years without an NFC title game.
13 years? And then
we're doing it live.
Well, then they had that one playoff appearance where Derek Carr got injured. Has never been the same since. Never since then they've been shit too and haven't won a playoff game. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not saying they don't suck.
I know.
But there's levels to this. At least they've gotten something to hold on to.
Yeah, technically this millennium, but barely.
It counts?
I suppose. Doesn't undo all
Help
the
me out
suckage.
here, Jeff.
No, like I said, it's picking out who's uglier. It's all ugly. So, however you feel, whether you feel it's the Raiders, I still think it's the Browns overall, I guess. But they still won a playoff game in recent years. Like this, it
has to be the Browns. But that's my point, by the way.
Totality in 30 years.
About your stupid logic. Oh, just give me a playoff winner.
Damn.
I sound like that.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what you sound like when you talk to me about winning a playoff game.
Give me a playoff game this year.
Win a fucking division first. Get off the stupid list.
Well, how about this?
All right.
If you win your division,
you'll be able to win a playoff game.
Well,
fair or not fair?
You'll be
your
favored.
chances of winning a playoff game are much higher if you win your division than if you don't. Is that true or not?
That's true.
Okay.
So go do it.
Thank you.
You'll be favored.
All right, God, we're going to take a break. When we get back, Larry Brown speaks on his run with the Pistons from 2003 to 2005, back-to-back finals appearances, one championship, and a Game 7 heartbreak. Shout out to Robert Horry. Go fuck yourself. You're still loved very much in this town. We'll be right back to have that conversation, but before we do, Gabby, our good friends over at Cintron.
Yeah, Cintron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, and right now you can try the Variety 6-pack for just $15 plus free shipping if you go to drinkcintron.com/Woodward. Great energy drinks, does not give you the jitters, full of great vitamins, and has no preservatives, aspartames, or gums. Get that at drinkcintron.com/Woodward.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
How would you like to see famous celebrities like Jim Harbaugh, Braylon Edwards, and Darren McCarty play golf with some average Joes? Well, now, thanks to Woodward Sports and the Randy Wise Automotive Group, you can do just that. It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Make the right choice, make the wise choice, and pay attention to woodwardsports.com for more info. Episodes are coming soon. And I'm going to say, the first...
We'll talk soon, buddy. All right. Where are you right now?
You're just FaceTiming fish.
You're in Flint? God help you. Art lives there. That's what's wrong with it. All right, bye, buddy.
Bye. What a legend.
It's fish.
Thank you for interrupting my live read for that live message.
Fish is more important than every human on this world. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But that episode is coming. I'm very excited.
I can't wait. Jim Harbaugh drops today, doesn't it?
Not today.
I thought it was today.
No.
When?
The goal is in the next week. So.
I can't wait.
We'll see, but episodes are going to come throughout the entire summer. It's going to be an entire series, so
Hell yeah.
it'll be fun.
Jesse Adams says Adam doesn't know how to get to Flint. Well, Jesse, I would love to disagree with you, but that is factual.
You're going to need maps.
I have no idea how to get to Flint. Well, actually, I do. I mean, I can look at the fucking signs. It's easy to get to Flint, right?
Yeah.
Just take 75 to Flint. Right?
North or south?
No, whatever fucking the Flint sign is.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's north or south. I can figure it out,
Yeah,
is
you
what I'm
can.
saying.
You can.
Without a GPS.
I trust
I'm
you.
sure I can figure it out.
I wouldn't be in the car with you, but I trust you.
I've never been to Flint, though. Is that another crime against humanity, apparently?
No, I've never been to Flint either. I've drove through Flint, never just hung out in Flint, so I don't. It's not crazy.
All right, fair enough.
It's too far.
You just get on 75. At least I know that. I know my main roads.
Yeah, you're close enough.
Flannel, we got to talk.
Okay.
I know you have opinions on Ben Wallace that I don't agree with.
Yes.
But we're going to put those aside. Larry Brown, arguably the second best coach in Detroit Pistons history. You can only put him behind the great Chuck Daly. Larry Brown was everything in this town when he came here. When he showed up, it was instant championship. It was on to the finals, and then it just ended awkwardly. They bought out the last 3 years of his deal. He kind of just went away, and we got Flip Saunders, and it was 3 consecutive Eastern Conference Finals appearances with Flip, but it never ever got to the level where they were a championship team again. And listening to Larry talk about himself and his time there, and he said that he was essentially fired midway into the 2004-2005 season because of issues that the team had with his assistant and Rip Hamilton. And it ended up being Rip and Chauncey due to health concerns that Larry Brown was dealing with at the time. It was Rip and Chauncey that ended up going to Bill Davidson and saying, hey, man, like, let him finish the year. That's our guy. Let's run it out. And they ended up getting to the finals. Lost in Game 7. Thanks, Sheed. But, you know, I find stories like that fascinating. Like, it's not often you get to win championships. And look, I know this is hockey town. This is home to the going to work Pistons, the bad boy. I get it. And in Detroit, we're accustomed to winning championships in certain sports and at least competing in others, like with the Tigers runs we've had. But I was only 10 years old. So I want to ask everybody in the room, and then we'll go to the chat. But why do I have a feeling that Larry Brown didn't leave on the right note? Maybe the way he should have. It reminds me of the Mike Babcock situation, right? The guy won a championship here in Detroit, and for obvious reasons, it didn't work out. But it still didn't feel right.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like we ever appreciated that moment. It was on to Flip Saunders, Eastern Conference Finals. We won a championship. Let's move on.
And Flip never was able to get over the hump.
No, never.
After Larry. So you saw the impact. And on this article, too, I'm just referencing some quotes from Larry Brown. This is the one that stuck with me because we kind of knew this, but to see it in writing, it's going to bring back some bad memories. Just trigger warning for Pistons fans.
Oh, God.
It says here, Brown said that when the Pistons hired him, quote, They told me we were going to draft Carmelo. When they later asked for his opinion, Brown told Director of Scouting George David and Director of Player Personnel Scott Perry that he thought Anthony was a phenomenal player and that he also loved Dwayne Wade and he heard great things about Bosch. They were, quote, they were all convinced, hey, those guys are good, but we really like Carmelo, said Brown. Quote, but Carmelo never got to come in for a workout, and he even wanted to come in and work out against Darko. Darko worked out for me twice, and he couldn't get through the workout. He was unbelievably skilled, but he was 18 and immature and young, and I was surprised as anybody when we drafted him. Well, there you go. Even Larry Brown thought that Carmelo Anthony was going to become a Piston. And it's crazy to look back and think about that because it seems like all signs pointed to that. Carmelo was told he was going to become a Piston. And then here comes Darko Milicic. So got a lot of love for Larry Brown. Wish he could have, him and Joe Dumars. I think the biggest thing, the disagreement there, and he talks about in the article, was when he had the hip surgery, the hip procedure. At that point, Joe Dumars, quote, he said he was already fired, essentially, but Rip and others, Rip and Chauncey specifically, saved his job throughout that season when they had an assistant coach fill in, Gar Hurd.
Yep.
But still, looking back, it is crazy to think that all signs pointed to Carmelo. Larry Brown thought it was Carmelo. Carmelo thought it was Carmelo.
What's Jeff's take then on Joe Dumars? And Flannel, I want to hear yours as well. Because Joe Dumars is a pulverizing figure here in Detroit, not just because of his playing days, but specifically him being a general manager. I don't want to say what I think yet. So I want to know Jeff first and then Flannel. Your thoughts on Joe Dumars' time as a general manager. Do you regard him as a good, average, or great, or all-time GM?
So it depends how you look at it. He brought a championship to Detroit. So I think the job was successful from that standpoint. That's your goal as a general manager. If you bring an NBA championship, that's huge. All the Eastern Conference Finals appearances, that's huge. The trade for Rasheed Wallace, one of the most significant trades in Pistons history, that's huge. But he wasn't perfect. The draft.
His drafting was
god-awful. Let's bring up free agency, too. His free agency wasn't the greatest either, especially towards the end.
Yeah, Ben Gordon and the cancer
the
patient.
end of Bill Davidson's tenure with the Pistons still. Some of those free agency signings, they screwed the Pistons for years financially. So as much as I want to say, I'm always appreciative of Joe Dumars. Again, he brought a championship. He kept the Pistons relevant for a stretch of time. But those bad decisions in the draft and in free agency,
I don't like your answer.
It costed him for years afterwards.
Pause. I don't like your answer. I'll tell you why in a bit.
Okay,
Flannel,
go on.
Your thoughts on Joe Dumars as a general manager in totality? Will he be, to you, remembered as a good, average, great, or possibly an all-time GM?
Well, I'm going to throw out all-time GM off the rip. My answer is very similar to Jeff's. I would say great, and at the end made some pretty franchise detrimenting, I don't know if that's a word, blunders.
He did.
And that is fair. Obviously, building a championship core in which they won, and not only were they a champion, they were a consistently excellent team for more than half a decade, and I am not going to let that slide. Also, given what he also did as a player, he should be revered in the city of Detroit for life, and that is fair. But I'll tell you what, some of those drafts and the Ben Gordon and Charlie Villanueva signing, that was awful. Charlie Villanueva was never good. He comes to the Pistons and has the worst seasons of his career up to that point. Ben Gordon, you could maybe understand. He was obviously a great shooter. He was coming off seasons with the Bulls in which he was effective. One of the best six-man sort of instant offense players in the league. He comes to the Pistons and basically does bupkis. And I know a lot of people will say, like, hindsight's 20/20, but that's what you judge these GMs on. You judge the GMs on how their moves work out as time goes on. I could understand the Ben Gordon one at the time, but definitely not Charlie Villanueva, and both of them worked out badly. And the Pistons have basically been a morbid, stuck-in-the-mud franchise since. I'm not saying it's all Joe Dumars' fault, but his legacy as a GM is complicated. I would say, if I'm putting it all in totality, I will say good, borderline great, but I'm not ignoring what happened at the end.
Okay, so here's the problem I have. I think Joe Dumars for an 8-year period, maybe even 9, was a great GM trending towards becoming an all-time GM. But his ending, like you both have said, was a fucking catastrophe. It was pathetic. It wasn't even just bad. It was so bad the Pistons are suffering from it to this day. How bad he was. But I still think he's a great GM. Because he is a championship winning GM. He's a multiple time finals appearing GM. I can almost count with all my fingers how many times his teams have gotten to a conference final on his watch. I don't forget the Flip Saunders, Larry Brown, and Rick Carlisle hires. Excellent hires in Detroit. So there was an 8-9 year period where I think Joe Dumars was a great GM. And I think he should always be remembered for being a great GM, which is what he was. But his drafts, and like you both said, free agency, fucking garbage. Darko Milicic, I don't care what anybody says, set this franchise back 15 years. It set them back. You can go to all the draft picks, Austin Day. You can go to Andre Drummond, Greg Monroe, all the fucking shitty players. Towards the end of his tenure here, all fucking garbage.
Right.
And you know what? I have a tough time with it. But I think he has to be remembered as a great. I don't think he'll ever be one of the all-timers. I don't think you'll ever bring him up with Jerry West or hell, even the guy that just left Golden State.
Yeah, Bob Myers.
Bob Myers. I don't think you'll ever regard Joe Dumars as one of the 10, 15, even 20 best NBA GMs of all time. But maybe he's on the border of 20. And I think that's fair. Because you know what? He won a chip. He delivered almost a decade of success. And he just didn't know. And I don't want to say didn't know, but he just fucking fell off a cliff after the Flip Saunders era. It was dead. It was a dead team.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, too. When you look at a GM, and Sam brought this up, two super important aspects of it, and this is everything. It's trades and drafts, free agency. That's how you extend success. Like they had success for a multitude of years, winning a championship, making the finals, making Eastern Conference Finals appearances. But how do you extend that? That's through the draft, hitting on guys in the draft, and Joe could never do that. So he got desperate through trades, and again, welcome Allen Iverson, welcome Tracy McGrady. Like you brought up, Josh Smith, Charlie Villanueva, and you have Ben Gordon. Like, these moves are what hurt them long term. Joe had a string of successful years, but not being great at those things hurt him longevity-wise, and that's why eventually it left a bad taste in a lot of Pistons fans' mouths. If you drafted Carmelo, for example, or didn't spend money, and it's not just Darko, but that's the prime example. Maybe the success or having a superstar or having a player that attracts people to games, maybe Joe's looked at a little differently, but those decisions ended up costing them.
But Joe, just down the stretch, again, fuck this team. You can look at drafting Mateen Cleaves. You can look at passing on Ray Allen and Rajon Rondo. They were offered for Rodney Stuckey, Rip Hamilton, and Tayshaun Prince. He didn't fucking move on. He drafted Rodney White. Who? Trading for fucking Aaron Aflalo. Remember that fucking loser?
Yeah, Aaron Aflalo.
Yeah. Trading Chauncey Billups for Allen Iverson when they had a fucking good start to the season.
And Chauncey made the Western Conference Finals.
His coaching hires after Flip Saunders, inexcusable. Lawrence Frank. You guys remember Lawrence Frank?
Wow.
Remember that fraud?
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about drafting Darko. But then, of course, there's the cancer patient and Ben Gordon. That free agency period, arguably the worst in the NBA's history. The only thing I can think of worse is the Wolves drafting Ricky Rubio and some other fucking guard over Steph Curry.
Johnny Flynn.
Now, the only reason why he gets, I don't want to say a full pass.
Well, he won a championship and he built a contender for a 10-year window.
That's the
10 years they were contenders. You can't take that away. But the ending is so fucking bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Yeah. What do I do with that?
And you know how teams still to this day, like, teams make these mistakes every year. For example, Philly had the number 3 pick. They traded up to number 1. Drafted Markelle Fultz over Jason Tatum. And now he's haunting them he'll continue to haunt them for probably the rest of his career. Like, these decisions cost you. And Joe, unfortunately, and it's not just Joe, because Stan Van Gundy, it's not just him. Trust me, he messed up a lot too as the coach / general manager. But Joe's decisions towards the end did not help him.
I think it's easy to point out his flaws.
Of course.
But let's remember the GM he was in the early 2000s and factor that in. The moves he made, the trades leading up even to not even their NBA championship, but the years prior to that, the moves he made, Lindsey Hunter and all the players that were involved. The guy was, I don't want to say ahead of his time, but the executive of the year in the NBA from 2002 to 2003, before they won a chip, he was the NBA executive of the year for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was, I don't want to say ahead of his time, but he kind of dominated that 5-6 year window. So, again, he brought a championship to Detroit, multiple finals appearances. I believe 8 or 9 total conference finals appearances. It was unbelievable. The ending was really bad, but I still think he has to be remembered as a great.
I agree, yeah. I still appreciate Joe Dumars. He brought an NBA championship and relevance to the city of Detroit during a time in which they needed it. So, yeah, Joe will always have my respect. I know Neil always says on Big D, no Joe Dumars slander.
Which is insane. Pointing out a few flaws isn't slander, by the way. I'm sure we'll get into that later.
I'm not going to go that far as to say you can't criticize Joe Dumars.
Well, it's because slander, by definition, is unfairly saying something about somebody that's maybe defaming their character, or defaming what they did. Those moves that Joe Dumars made with regards to drafting Darko and trading Chauncey Billups for Allen Iverson, picking up Ben Gordon and Charlie Villanueva, those are blemishes. Were there reasons, some maybe outside of his control, that maybe he weren't all his fault? Maybe, but at the same time, he did those things. We're talking about even during his good stretch. In the 2003 draft, he drafted Darko Milicic, and 4 out of the top 5 were Hall of Famers, and the other was Darko Milicic. He had some blemishes, and pointing them out is fair, but you also have to acknowledge the greatness that he brought.
Yeah, the bringing up Bill Davidson and how Joe was forced to spend money because they were transitioning to new ownership. Like, I get all that, but he still spent money on players that were trash.
Spend it better.
There you go.
Seriously, just spend it better.
Yeah.
Charlie Villanueva.
Like, that's fair.
Charlie Villanueva and Ben Gordon were terrible. They did nothing. And that's not okay, but it's okay to just admit that. And we can say, yeah, Joe Dumars did that, but he also did great things.
How do we remember Dave Dombrowski? This is a great question in the chat. Do you rate Dave Dombrowski higher than Joe Dumars? And my answer to that is yes, I do. And I know, again, Joe won a championship in Detroit, but Dave Dombrowski got this team to 2 World Series and 2 ALCSs. He was arguably the best general manager in baseball for a decade.
Yeah,
he won a championship in Florida. He won got to 2 World Series in Detroit, 2 ALCSs. All the maneuvers, trades, everything you can think of, Dave Dombrowski was responsible for. I mean, my goodness. Ownership obviously was amazing at the time with Mike Ilitch, God rest his soul. But to me, I remember Dave Dombrowski, or I would rate Dave higher than Joe. I think Dave did a better job overall in the full context of his time here in Detroit. And you saw it with Boston. He won a World Series right after. He didn't wait long to win a World Series with Boston right when he left Detroit. So I think Dave was a better general manager. I would argue in my lifetime, Dave Dombrowski is the best general manager I've ever witnessed in Detroit. Yes, even over Dumars. You don't agree?
Well, and I'll let you take this one, Sam, because I'll jump in after you.
Okay, so I guess I put more stock into cashing one in. As great as Dave Dombrowski was, and he was great, the 2012 World Series, I'm not saying that the whole season was a failure. They got swept. They got blown off the diamond, basically, and it was never close. It was pretty embarrassing, by the way. And then in 2006, they lost the World Series to an 83-win Cardinals team, which still burns in my soul to this day, and I still hate the Cardinals because of it. And not to mention, he wins one with the Red Sox. He wins before that, and not with the Tigers,
Tigers
though.
had won 43 games 3 years prior to 2006. And that's when he showed up, was the 43-win season. And in 06, they were in the World Series. And then he elevated And again, look, I'm not going to excuse losing in the World Series. That sucks. I think we all agree we're all still hurting to this day from that Tiger baseball team never getting the job done. But, I mean, my goodness, Dave Dombrowski gave more, for me as a fan, gave more with the Tigers than Joe Dumars ever did with the Pistons. I know there's a championship, and that's great and all, but those Jim Leyland teams with Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Prince Fielder, Torrey Hunter, Miguel Cabrera, Triple Crown winner. I had Justin Verlander win an MVP and a Cy Young in the same fucking year. I just Rick Porcello. I can go on to Victor Martinez. I can go on and on and on. I know because he doesn't have a championship, that might be the deal breaker for you guys. But Dave Dombrowski's time here in Detroit, I think, was better than any GM's in my lifetime, which is 1994 to current.
Well, I got to stay consistent because when we brought up we brought this up before, and I've had this conversation with Maz, the Rams and the Lions trade, who won the trade? The Lions got more assets, but the Rams won the trade. They got a Super Bowl. So I'm going to stay consistent.
But that's two different situations.
But regardless, I value a championship more than what you're saying, elongated success, making a World Series, or having more assets. I'll take a championship every single time, and twice on Sunday. I'll take it every time.
I always wonder how this is then going to translate down the road to our conversations about Brad Holmes.
Well, Brad Holmes, it starts when he wins a division and he gets a playoff win under his belt, and same for Campbell. And if Brad Holmes, again, I don't think anybody questions his ability to get talent.
No.
He's done an exceptional job of that.
Mm-hmm.
But Brad Holmes is not allowed to be in any conversation, as good as we all think he is, until the team starts winning it. If they don't win a division game this year, the division this year, and they don't win a playoff game, he's going to have to look real hard at his head coach and be like, what the fuck, dude? What more can I give you? That's the top 3 roster in the NFC. So
you're never going to question it.
I get that. Again, I'm not saying that your criteria is wrong, that you want the championship. But who I thought was a better GM during their time, I think Dave Dombrowski was better. I do. I think he fielded better teams for a more consistent basis.
Yeah.
I thought he was always innovative in how he'd retool, how he'd get guys for such cheap prices. Our farm system was never any good, and he still made it work. But we'll take a break. When we get back, we'll get to mailbag. But before we do, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. They're awesome styles, so take care of you like they always take care of me. So get to a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Jeff Iafrate here, and the sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com for more information.
All right, we're back. Mailbag time. Drop your questions in the chat. Jeff and I will answer them, of course.
I won't answer them.
You're not going to answer them because you are biased with Dave Dombrowski's daughter, but we're not going to get to that since you two are best friends.
Jesse Adams says, Mailbag, Jeff, did you watch the Ultimate Fighter last night? Yes, I did. Second question, Adam Beydoun, you want to bet MSU wins over 6 games this year, or
I'm
that
not
they will beat Washington?
I'm not betting Michigan State this year. Not for a single game.
Okay, so you're completely
Not for a single game.
Okay, so you're completely
staying the fuck away.
All right.
Michigan State, one of two things is going to happen. Mel Tucker's either going to put out a surprisingly good football team, which I don't expect, or they're going to win 2 games. Like, Michigan State has a chance to fucking suck.
Has a chance or they will?
They have a chance to fucking suck. I'm not saying they will, but there's a good chance they will.
All right. Tim says, mailbag, I have Denver in 5. What say you, Jeff? I think the closest the Miami Heat can keep this series is 6 games. Because
I think you're being generous.
And I am being generous. I think 5 is more likely. I don't know if the rest will hurt or help Denver. That's the biggest question. So
Adam, do you blame your father for your current view on the world? No, I actually blame the fucking world. I was fortunate enough to move out at, 19 years old. I got to go experience life for myself. I wasn't attached like most Middle Eastern people are to their families. I got to leave, experience life, come back as a grown man, spend time with my family. I have my own thoughts and views on the world. The world's the fucking problem, not me. I think the world needs more people like me.
Yeah.
I think it would be a lot better.
I actually agree with that one.
So, it is what it is. Let's see what else we get.
Andrew,
ideal scenario for the Pistons at 5. I don't want to do this. You do it. If I can't. I can't.
Take the best player available. No, I don't. Ideal. There's a lot of different scenarios. I know Troy's open to trading the pick. I'm curious who's open to trading for the pick. That's probably the better question to ask. If they can't trade that pick, then it's there's a couple prospects you can live with. Either of the Thompson twins, who's ever there, Cam Whitmore, etc., Taylor Hendricks, Jarris Walker. There's a couple guys that I like there. So we'll see. There's a lot of different pretty good scenarios the Pistons can have.
All right, what else we got?
Blade, when we'll start talking NBA draft?
Not anytime soon.
Once they have a coach.
Let them get the
let's
fucking
just start
coach.
with the coach. That's the first
Please,
one.
God. Adam, would therapy help? Honestly, I think therapy would... Okay, again, I don't want to speak for everybody. I only am going to speak for myself.
Right.
Therapy, I believe, is a good way of going even fucking more crazy. I'm not saying it's not good to talk to people, but if you're going to talk to somebody an hour a day and reaffirm all the problems that you have in your life, you're going to go fucking crazy. It's just what I think. It's just what I think. If therapy has worked for you before, good. Good on you. I hope it works. For me, if I did therapy, I would end up being a serial killer. I know it 100%. I'm very self-aware.
All right,
I don't need a
mailbag.
therapist to tell me all the fucking mental problems I have and how fucked up I am. I already know. Let me fucking deal with it my way. And the more you remind me, the more likely I am to take all of you and kill you.
I think it's important who your therapist is, too. Because if you have a therapist who's just reaffirming all your problems, you got to get a new therapist.
No, see, that's the... I don't know. Maybe I'm too...
I don't go to therapy, but that I would assume that's... If your therapist is like,
No, so what's therapy? Like, we do a therapy session.
To each their own.
So-
To each their own.
Yeah, of course. I totally respect that. I get it. Look, I have a friend of mine, a really close friend of mine. He has a life coach who's kind of a therapist also. And my goodness, he's changed dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
But can I imagine myself talking about life? I can't. I just, again, everybody's different. I think I would go more crazy talking to a fucking therapist about whatever problems I may or may not have. God, she might or he might discover something that nobody has any business knowing. And I'd even know. And then the whole world's fucked. All right, so let's avoid that. Anyways.
Back to mailbag. Dark horse college football playoff teams no one's talking about.
Florida State.
Of course.
I swear to God. I think they got the best quarterback this year. I think they got the best quarterback in the conference. Obviously, Clemson's always going to be good. God, I'm forgetting his name. The freshman last year from Clemson.
Klubnik. Yep.
Klubnik, thank you. He's going to be better this year, but Florida State, I mean, they got Keon Coleman. They got a 5-star quarterback. Watch out for Florida State to make noise in the ACC. Wouldn't shock me one bit. You want to talk about a team that runs the table and wins the ACC, they're getting in.
Yes!
I am not saying that because of Gabby. That's just the truth. They've got arguably the best quarterback in the conference. That has to matter. That has to mean something.
Yeah.
You asked me that nobody's talking about. I fucking gave you an answer.
I mean, aside from me.
There you have it.
Oh, God. Can we get more collectibles on the desk, or is that frowned upon? Honestly, if I bring collectibles up here, we're probably going to get canceled. Bringing my Joseph
Yeah, I don't
Stalin
know what you'd bring in.
bobblehead.
Yeah, don't bring that in. Don't bring that in.
You know, Justin sent me a link yesterday, by the way, to the coolest website in the world.
What kind
Look
of
at this.
website?
It's a website that lets you rank dictators.
Mailbag.
I haven't finished my list yet.
Who spends more time on their hair in the morning, Adam, Gabby, or Jeff?
Gabby, 100%. My hair, I spend a minute on. Maybe a minute. It's the easiest thing in the world. I brush my hair, and I put a little bullshit on it, and that's it. Jeff maybe spends a few hours. Jeff.
No, realistically, Jeff, I want to know, like, how much time?
How much time? Well, listen, greatness isn't. No, I'm just joking. Greatness takes a while. All right, it's not a quick process. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, not long at all. You put some water in there, blow dry it, put some hair gel. I'm done. Probably
Blow
5
dry
minutes.
every morning?
Yeah, easily 5 minutes. Not even. So, I'm not gonna. I don't sit there and for 15, 20 minutes doing my hair. I don't have the patience, number one, for that. But number two, I just don't really care. As long as it's back and I got hair gel on it, I'm good.
I think Genghis Khan should be my number one on this list.
So I'm definitely the one that spends.
He's impregnated like 40% of the
Well,
world,
it depends
right?
on the day.
And he's killed like 50 to 60 million
day?
people.
Is it not a hair wash day?
Okay.
Hair wash day. You're talking like
This is a great list. This is an elite
45
list.
minutes drying my hair.
I think Fidel Castro's an overrated dictator. I think he's a bitch.
But a
I don't think
day
he accomplished
where
much.
I'm not washing my hair.
You look at his numbers,
I could
Flannel.
spend like
Dude,
anywhere
put up rookie
from
numbers.
10 minutes
Gotta
to
pump those
30
numbers
minutes. Just depends.
God damn
Depends
it,
on what
Gabby.
I'm doing that day.
I'm
You know.
not even saying anything
I am getting
bad.
a haircut though. Getting a haircut.
What is going on right now?
Just give me
What
a
is
break.
you're talking while she's talking? What is going on right now? What? Who?
I think Genghis Khan's number one.
And I think I'm getting a haircut.
I think
this
Hitler
week.
number two.
I don't even know.
Stalin 3.
No, don't rank him.
I think Fidel Castro's probably like top 15. I think I'll put him lower on the list.
Thank you all for tuning in to the
didn't
Morning
kill enough
Woodward
people.
Show here at Woodward
You gotta kill enough people to make
Sports.com.
that list.
Tune in
You gotta be a
every Monday
ruthless
through
motherfucker.
Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Follow us on all social media at Woodward Sports and tune back in here at woodwardsports.com
Gaddafi
at
overrated
11 for Big D Energy, and we will see you tomorrow. Jeff and Adam will see you tomorrow. I won't be here. I'll be back Friday. See ya.
Jesus Christ.